You and your brother.
Also, yeah,
So
you're my bottom.
You know
bitch.
what I am saying?
So we'll jump right into it. The first bit of news is Overwatch, which we're all super excited for. They sort of messed with the release date of sorts. And instead of the 24th, it will be available the 24th in Europe, which ends up being 7 o'clock on the 23rd on the East Coast and 4 o'clock on the West Coast when the servers open.
So physical copy.
So
You're my bottom.
You know
bitch.
what I am saying?
So we'll jump right into it. The first bit of news is Overwatch, which we're all super excited for. They sort of messed with the release date of sorts. And instead of the 24th, it will be available the 24th in Europe, which ends up being 7 o'clock on the 23rd on the East Coast and 4 o'clock on the West Coast when the servers open.
So physical copies are probably still going to be delivered on the 24th. That's last checked on Amazon.
Yeah, I would imagine, yeah.
Did you guys see the
Dragon.
statistics that they released with the open beta?
Yeah, the infographic that they released.
I did not see this.
It was just like an insane
It's
chart.
more than 9.7 million players, over 190 countries.
And then they like total damage.
Your suspected wait time for server is 9 minutes and 45 seconds.
Let's see.
Game length were like between 6 and 9 minutes.
Yeah.
Total miles objective was pushed or something like that.
Oh, the offensive one surprised me. It's Soldier 76.
Yeah, Soldier 76 was number one player on offense.
Defense is Widowmaker.
Widowmaker,
Obviously.
Not to go to nerf.
Reinhardt for defense for a
Mercy
tank.
for
Yeah.
support.
Although I'm kind of surprised it was Mercy. I thought more people played the Rastafarian guy.
It could be
Techno,
also
yeah.
that Mercy may getting a massive amount of extra healing for a res, considering she can technically bring the entire team back to full health.
Yeah, she's super strong. It was most played, just most played.
Yeah. The most most damage was Farah.
And the most
total
healing was the
Zenyatta.
yeah. The most
Who?
healing was the was Zenyatta, and they put the amount of damage that Farah did versus the healing that, and it was like, what was the damage from Farah? It was like 13 trillion or something like
Yeah,
that.
1 trillion.
Jesus.
Is that all?
And Farah and Zenyatta's healing was like in the millions.
Who's Senyatta?
He's
Yeah,
the
but that's
dude.
hard.
He's the monk-looking guy that
Oh,
shoots
the
the little
monk.
balls.
Ah,
Shoot-
yeah.
yeah.
This one made me happy. 326 Bastion unit destroyed.
We have learned how to take down Bastion.
Yeah.
Now we just need to learn how to take
And
down
that one that lasted all of like a half a second on the start of that one game that I nuked with Genji.
All right, I cannot
Now we just need to learn how to take down a Tracer.
go with mommy.
McCree.
Tracer.
In time.
Tracer counters Tracer. What?
It's like a Dragon Ball Z fight when you got two Tracers fighting.
And that's basically what happens.
Yeah, and also the that video came out, the Hanzo Dragon video,
I
Blizzard
like
thing.
that video. It was nice.
Blizzard
Which I
always does a good
questioned
job.
afterwards if you could use
Yep, you can.
to deflect Hanzo's ult, and you can. We saw videos. And
It is hilarious.
And actually, you can deflect a lot with Genji. Like, I looked it up, and you can deflect like Mei's ultimate. You can deflect all kinds of shit. So
Well, as Reinhardt or whatever his name is, Diva, you can actually, when she does her nuke thing, you can take him and charge it.
I actually did that once, so it still kills you, but
Mhm.
It's a way to get it away from your team.
yeah,
Unless your team runs in that same direction, then
they're idiots, and they deserve to
They
die.
should be running away from it at all costs, anyways.
quick, get behind cover. What about our tank? No, don't get behind him. He's suiciding this.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know that. So yeah, they're pushing up the release date a little bit for that.
Oh, a few hours.
Yeah, a few hours essentially.
you can launch the game now, but it does say
It's their login servers are down.
yeah.
Yeah, I got to play it the other day. Remember?
Shut up, Dawn.
In other Blizzard news, they're going to be giving away a free copy of World of Warcraft if you go to see the movie at select theaters. It gives you all of the latest expansions up until Legion. Obviously, they're not going to give you Legion for free,
you
which
get
is
you get a
which is
$20
$20 game. Yeah, for going to see a $10 movie.
It's still unconfirmed. Some sources say yes, some sources say no on the fact that if you do get the free month of WoW with it.
I saw somewhere they confirmed it was a free month.
Subscription is not
Actually,
free.
well, no, when you buy a copy of WoW, you get 1 month free, and then you have to subscribe the rest of it.
Right.
Generally, what they're going to be giving away is going to be just a 1 month free. You're going to get the game for free 1 month, and then you'll have to pay to keep playing.
Yeah.
Oh, and you get the money you paid to see it at the movie theater back.
Yeah, and then some. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 people go. That's
You could sell the game for $10 probably.
It is it's a code.
Yeah, if it's a $20 game, you sell the ticket online for $10. Make your money back for seeing the movie. It's offered through Regal, United Artists, and Edwards Theaters locations. Digital copies of the game will be available while supplies last. Whatever that means. It's a digital game. I don't. So they must just have a number.
So they're giving
right?
out 2.
Yeah, they must
our
just.
servers turn
That
to
is
dust.
one meaty
Mr.
sandwich.
Neff, thank you for following. So they must just have a set number of 1 million or something, whatever number that they're giving away.
Which, all in all, they're probably going to make a big profit on this movie. I'm excited for it. I'm sadly not in any of those offered regions to get a code for it, so I already own the game, so it doesn't matter. But
Yeah.
and also if you log on between, I think it's May 25th, and between May 25th and August 1st within the game, you get special transmog items from the movie. So
Yeah, it was
you
like a
have your
shield
account
and a
still
sword,
running.
right?
For Alliance, it's a sword and shield. For the Horde, it's a staff and axe. So it's only going to be exclusive in between that time period. So if you have your account running, make sure it stays on between that time period I just said. They look really nice, put it that way. I guess continuing with some Blizzard stuff.
I had something else Blizzard in
Deadly
there.
Boss Mods is now
That's
on Patreon.
Patreon?
Yeah. Creator Adam Williams, the guy that made Deadly Boss Mods, and it's one of the greatest WoW add-ons when you're doing raids and new content. He's asking for basically money to do this now as a living wage, so he can do it as 24/7. If someone has an issue with it, you get back as soon as possible, as this is like his full-time job, since it's getting more difficult to create, I guess. Blizzard's making it either harder or the content is getting harder and everything.
Yeah,
So my question
apparently
is-
it's like much harder for the new expansions.
Yeah, well,
Significantly.
He said every
Yes.
expansion it gets harder, and he has to maintain between doing it on his free time and getting into the alphas and betas and doing those contents and everything. I'm wondering if he's one of the few that actually gets Insta invites so he can actually create it sooner.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens there because the last mod that tried to actually make a profit off of doing it got sued. So
Well,
it's an interesting fact.
it's still for free, but it's more asking like, hey, donate to me.
Yeah.
That's going to be the fine line. But Blizzard is the company that's been known to go after people that are doing that. Technically, he's going to be getting paid to be making a mod for Blizzard, or for a Blizzard game. And that the ELU, I think, has that. You cannot turn a profit off of it.
Yeah,
So it's more than likely lawyers will be involved at some
it's skirting
point.
the line for sure.
Yeah.
Because you're not outwardly paying for
He
it,
better not quit his day job.
but you're paying somebody to do work to give things away for free. It's a gray area to be sure.
Yeah, and I guarantee Blizzard's players are looking into that right now.
We'll follow it and probably talk about it another time on an update. So
Yeah.
I think that's all Blizzard related.
And I think the guy was looking for like $1,300 a month. That was like his goal. Patreon, you essentially subscribe. You pay a monthly fee. You can pay it for $1 or $5 or $10 every month. So he's looking for $1,300.
He does a great job on it. It's literally a mod that if you don't have,
It's a must-have. Yeah, it's really helpful.
I can see why it's taken him longer as well, because back in the day, you only had one variation of the instance, really. It was a very limited variation, the 10-man and the 25-man. Now it's got looking for group, the 10-man normal, the 10-man heroic, the 10-man mythic, the looking for group 25-man, looking for group normal, looking for, so you have like various different tiers of it, and they do change up the fights.
And then you have challenge mode, and then you have the newer challenge mode where you have the tokens that add in the debuffs and buffs and all that stuff.
So there's a whole lot more.
Yeah, you also have mythic and heroic, which I think the only really difference is just the buff of the creatures, where you actually have to learn to not stand in fire.
Timing is different. the end game damage is different, and the timing is different on some of the fights, so it happens faster.
Yeah.
So,
Either way, he does a great job. I hope he doesn't get sued and whatnot. So I hope this all works out in the end, because it's a mod that it'd be hard to replace. Will someone actually pick up and continue it? So
there's always going to be somebody out there that'll do that. Every time a mod's gone down, another modding group takes up it and rolls with it. So that's always going to happen. But
Yeah.
is it going to be done to the same level of quality? That's the question. Because the last people that did it, tried to make money off of it, was
Carbonite Quest, I think. No, they're still around.
It was Carbonite, yeah, but they got sued.
They went from, well, I used them as the free edition and all that stuff, but I guess they took away the paid for, because they actually made you buy the add-on. There was a free one and there's a paid one.
Got sued by it.
He's doing it differently. He's not actually making you pay for the add-on. So.
Well, like I said, he's definitely skirting the line, but the problem is that I'm fairly sure in the ELU for making mods for Warcraft, it states clearly you cannot turn a profit off of anything you do.
Well, my question is, you can donate to people though that create mods, like through Curse and everything. They have their own donate button set up and whatnot.
That's definitely a gray area. You can donate to me for my time to mod a game.
So that I will in the future do this.
Right.
Yeah, like I said,
He's skirting the line, and I'm interested to see. I have a feeling they're going to let him do it, but I'm curious to see what ends up happening.
it's such a major mod for the game. If anything, Blizzard will do what they did with Carbonite. They're going to cut they killed Carbonite by pretty much implementing most of the features Carbonite had in it.
Most of the features was not from Carbonite. It was from Quest Finder or Quest Giver, because that basically did the whole overlay, little bubbles and whatnot. And then I was like, hey, we have our own Quest thing, and then you never heard of the other one. Carbonite was still around, and I still use it.
Blizzard uses the modding community to make their own game better. It's free research and development for their game. Most of what
they might hire him.
Most of what you see now in Warcraft was not with vanilla when it came out. A lot of it's been all modded and added from modders.
I know.
It's really, really good, and it improves the game enough. Blizzard will just incorporate it into the game, and then the modder goes away.
Gearscore, for example, that used to be a mod or add-on more than anything.
So it was still a mod. It was a mod to the UI, a mod to the game. So
yeah. Anyhow,
so some new information that just came out today is that Facebook/Oculus, who make the Rift, are implementing hardware DRM to lock out alternative headsets from playing VR titles purchased on the Oculus Store. I see this going one of two ways. The one is they're killing themselves because everybody's going to want to say, I want to buy a Vive and use that, or I want to use the Steam Store or whatever. Or the other way this could go is similar to how the App Store works with Apple. You invest into the Oculus Store, and now you're locked in. By investing into the store, you're now investing into the next generation of Oculus items, and it just continues the process. Sort of how Apple has done it with the App Store. So I can see it going either one of either way, but I'm curious what everybody else thinks about it.
I'm just gonna back you on that. I don't have much information on it. This is the first time hearing of it, and it sounds basically what Apple does with their products.
Well, it says that anything you buy on the Oculus Store will be Oculus only, but does that mean that the content is exclusive to the Oculus? Does that mean you can't buy it on the Steam Store or whatever?
Well, that's up. I don't know.
Isn't this to combat that mod or whatever that guy made where you could play like anything?
Yes, it unlocked
on the
it.
Vive.
And originally they had stated they didn't really care, and then they said they did care, and
they realized
now they're locking it
the
out.
profit margin.
Realized how much money they were going to lose on the deal.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, I think the Vive is looking better than the Rift right now anyways, so I'm leaning towards it maybe hurting it, but
it's going to be
never
a death
know.
knell for it, in my opinion.
At the same time, the Vive has a big backing on Steam because Steam promoted it, so...
It's me and the thing that...
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
It's the thing with me with this is it's way too early to try to make your... if you're going to do it now, you got to do it now to make your system proprietary, basically, where you have to have this in order to have that. But the technology isn't really established yet. So you're basically going out to a market and saying, if you're going to make stuff for this, you have to make it for me. And developers out there are going to look around and go, what's going to be the better saturation? If there's going to be multiple VR headsets, I'm not making it just for one. I'm going to make sure it's ready for everybody. And there's not going to be any guarantee that that's going to have that same ability. So,
Yeah, Oculus is going to have Facebook-only apps here in a year or two, I guarantee you.
without a doubt. Without a doubt. It just, I don't think it's a smart idea, but I think
Casual Crashers or Castle Clan War, whatever the fuck it's called. On
Look, whatever they're going to do, they planned ahead. They've already thought it through.
Yeah, it's a long-term strategy for sure.
Yeah.
This is not a short-term gain. This is long-term.
Companies don't do things without planning.
I mean, if you invest $60 in the game on the Oculus Rift, are you then willing to jump to something else when you won't be able to get recoup that $60?
if you're thinking of the console mentality, yeah. But the thing with that is that, I mean, yet again, if okay, you drop money on Oculus Rift and then you drop money on a game that's on that you only can get through there. I mean, it's going to be unique to the Oculus Rift or whatever. And then somebody else releases another VR headset that's dirt cheap that has better, is better than the Rift. Are you going to stay, or are you going to go buy the dirt cheap one that might have better selections of games or better selections of, it just Facebook.
You have to weigh the pros and the cons.
If Facebook wants to do this, Facebook is basically saying what a lot of other game companies have said. I can take on Steam and win. And if they really think that's the mentality of how they're going to win, that they're going to do it, they ain't going to do shit. They're going to basically limit themselves to an extremely small people. Maybe they think everybody who has Facebook is going to drop the money to buy a Rift. And if that's the situation, they're really fucking stupid and they're being advised by a lot of really dumb people. So they're going to limit their market. Just because people are using Facebook does not mean they're going to drop money on a Rift. The gamer's going to drop money on the Rift. But yet again, the gamer's going to go where there's actually games to play. So,
and support, too.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, they're all essentially tech demos.
Yeah.
So it's super early. I mean, it's way too early
to do this. But I mean, if you're going to do proprietary, you have to do it early. You can't do it 8 months after you're establishing. You got to do. Apple started. They were, you buy from us, you only can get it from us. That's the way it is. So I mean, kudos for Facebook for doing it, but I hope they crash and burn. Because personally, I think Facebook is the devil. So.
Yeah, we don't see you on there.
Devil, Bobby Boucher.
Yeah, I mean they're going for the software sells the hardware, or the hardware sells the software, which then sells the hardware. They're looking to generation 2 and 3 down the line with this type of a move.
It's worked so well for consoles over the past 3 years. I mean,
but will it have backwards compatibility?
And will enough people know what they're getting involved in that they're not going to be able to use it on anything else?
That is the question.
The VR set that will end up winning the day is going to be the one that works for everything. That way you can...
the Vive is looking that way.
The best and easiest to implement.
Yeah, the one that wins is going to be the one that can be used by anything, that can be used on any system, that you can hook from your play. If you have consoles, you can hook it into your consoles and use it. You can hook it into your PC and use it.
Especially as prices for the Vive come down, too.
I feel like it's going to be just like 3D. Like it's going to be popular for a couple months and everybody's going to forget about it.
It's always a possibility. It depends on how this stuff is actually implemented.
But the thing with like the console thing, that's probably not going to happen until consoles have the hardware to maintain without you getting nauseous and everything. That's why
there's a lot of stuff.
That's why virtual reality didn't really last, because there's latency.
It sucked.
Yeah, because you get nauseous because there's latency issues.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's stuff in between too. There's augmented reality. That, it's not just cut and dry.
Right now, without a shadow of a doubt, it's all cliche. JT's right. It's all cliche.
Oh, yeah.
These are games that are basically, oh, wow, cool. And after 15 minutes, you're like, all right, I've had my fill. I don't really give a fuck. So
same thing with the Wii. Like the Wii was like that, and then they just came out with the Wii U right after that because everybody's tired of moving their hands around forever.
Well, the Wii did extremely well for a very long time. It's not like the Wii U came out immediately.
We lived on the aspect of a party platform, and it's great if you have a bunch of drunk friends that can flail their arms around and act like jackasses.
Or kids.
It was a casual console. I mean, and the Wii did a good job at what it was designed to do.
Then it also it won the market.
Oh, it crushed. Yeah, it crushed.
Race, then.
At the end of the generation, when basically the two other platforms were hyping up for their next generation.
They were outselling for a long time.
The systems were outselling, but the Wii U itself the system was selling, and the main reason the system was selling was because it was a limited market, and the news was covering the fact that nobody could get it, and that drove
the
sales.
Wii or the Wii U? We're talking about the Wii.
We're talking, the Wii.
Yeah, the original Wii. Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same exact time, Microsoft was starting its downward slope, and PlayStation 3 was basically going through the roof because it had all of its great games out at that point. The end of the PlayStation 3 life cycle was amazing for the amount of games that was coming out.
I feel like it
That's how
would be more
PlayStation
interesting.
is every time.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's how PlayStation is. They start kind of slow, and then by the end, they're just
They're
kicking it.
just knocking out great games left and right.
Yeah, I feel virtual reality would be a little more viable or a little more interesting if people had more room to do it. Like if you're just sitting there, like I am, with an L-shaped desk and you're trying to play virtual reality, I don't see how I would not destroy everything on my desk playing something.
Like I said, I agree with JT. It's cliche.
So
They really have to function. They got to go on the level of,
You got to be able to replace your own reality with something better.
and they got to basically make it where it's like an interface that you can still have limited movement and limited room and get full effective virtual reality.
We're gamers. We prove alternate reality is more exciting most days than our own reality.
It's not even that, but it's like I think Yahtzee from Escapist came out and said about the Wii U originally. It's one of those things where it's great, but eventually you got to realize gamers sit around on their ass all day. Getting them to get up and walk around and wave your arms around stupidly, it's not something that.
It was great for little kids. It was a family console. It was a casual console.
And it's a party console.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. If you were going home and playing a video game and you had a choice between an Xbox, a PlayStation 4, and a Wii U, you're going to be using the Wii U as a paperweight, and you're going to be playing the other two consoles. Now, if you got a bunch of people there and you're playing, you're probably jumping on the Wii U to beat the living shit each other in Smash Brothers, or Go Kart, or one of the other fucking 30 party games they have for it. But if you're playing a game by yourself, you're probably you're going to a system that actually has games, not just novelties. And that's all. Like, to me, that's all those games that the Wii U and anything like that is. It's a novelty. If you look at most of the virtual reality games, the way they sell it, the way they show it is a family sitting around and watching one guy basically walk around like a robot blind to the world and everybody else pointing and laughing at him. All right?
Again, they've only had essentially tech demos to this point. Nobody's really sat down and made a VR game.
It's the people that are going to make those that utilize that technology are the hardcore modders out there and the hardcore gamers out there. They're going to take that stuff and not make it where you use the 3D mods and the hands and shit like that. They're going to sit there and mod it to games in the horizon, like a Star Citizen, where you're going to be using it as a virtual head simulator. So you're going to be able to actually look as if you're in the cockpit and games like that. That's where the virtual reality technology is going to spring from. And that's where it's going to be really, really driven, because that's the stuff that a lot of these games have done for years, like Track IR and stuff like that. They've always tried to make it to where the player can interact with the world around them. Like, Track IR basically was you had to wear like a fucking headband, and it had infrared. So if you moved your head left and right, it would move your monitor as if you were looking around. So, and that's, like I said, that's where the technology is going to go. All this virtual reality and, interaction stuff, I don't think that's going to be where it catches its...
See, I feel like the best case of virtual reality that I've seen, and I don't even know if it's real or not, but I think we looked it up before. There was like some guy playing Battlefield or something, and he was on that thing that was holding him up by the waist, and he was running on that dome shape on the bottom.
Yeah.
And like that is more interesting because you got the heads and everything and your gun or whatever, but
that's closer to a full dive system.
But that to me is
Haptic
more interesting
feedback
than
and
just
whatnot.
putting something on your head and just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I'm waiting for a full dive, which Shadow would probably be the only one that gets that reference from an anime, but basically it's you're fully in the game, you're integrated with
The
it.
Matrix.
To a point, yeah.
Yeah.
The Holodeck. Wasn't that the Star Trek thing?
Holodeck was the Star Trek
Yeah.
thing, but that's more of an interactive. That's actual like living virtual reality.
Yeah.
That's like the Holodeck.
So for what Benthans is talking about, it's one of
You
those.
put a headset on, it interacts with your brain waves and everything like that. You basically lay on a bed and you transport into the world.
Oh,
Yeah.
my.
So your body
Yeah,
is
you have to be able to control your movement with your mind, not with your.
What it would basically,
That's it.
if you want to get into the technical aspect of it, what it would basically do is shut your brain down as like when you're sleeping, and you'd still have cognitive. Everything would be under control, but it would basically. What do you
No,
say?
thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and keep functioning my
It would
brain.
be a lucid dream, basically.
it's a dream. In the one show, it's called the nerve gear, because it's interacting with your brain's nervous system and everything. You have full function and everything. You can log out of the game and boom, you're back in real life.
And
Yeah.
It's Inception.
That will be eventually the where the technology will go, because
If it makes it there.
you could do it.
If it makes it there.
You could probably fry your brain at some point or another. But
There's going to be a lot of trial and error, yes. But, no, that's
So
what
maybe
I
we're not going to see VR go really the way it needs to go until there's an actual synaptic.
I think if there's a game to sell VR, it's gonna. That's the thing. VR needs a game to champion it
Dark
for
Souls,
a reason.
Dark Souls 4.
Well,
never will exist.
he's talking about like how VR is gonna like it's for the gaming and everything, but at the same time, I see VR taking off and going closer to the full dive for medical purposes and other purposes besides.
Oh, yeah, business, social. Those
Yeah,
things.
for like a patient that can't go outside anymore, like they're that ill. They can use a VR headset to be at the beach.
what a shitty Make-A-Wish game, you know?
You get a VR headset.
It might not be.
Go see the Super Bowl. Here's the simulated reality. for you.
No, like
That you could do that.
like live there, like a webcam is there, and you can actually be in that seat as the webcam. But it's,
Do virtual tours.
it's not like a wish. It's more just like
I was just being.
yeah, I know. But how would you like being in a hospital room, months at a time, and like, oh, I have to wait one more year before I can do the Make-A-Wish? More, it's like you can do it every weekend. Going like, I want to go camping this time, and you're in the woods. You get to like see it. You can interact with it a little bit.
You can even do something like send a special robot around with a 360 camera and have a virtual tour of a museum or something
Yeah.
Or
like
a
that.
drone.
Maybe
Just a drone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Military.
I've been talking about drone tours for a while.
But hold on, maybe for bedridden individuals or people that are wheelchair bound or something like that, I think you guys are forgetting something really, key here. Gamers lock themselves in a room and play for hours on end by choice, right? It's not like granted, they may want to go out and see the world to a point, but they do so by choice. So that's not really a market. I don't think you're going to have a lot of people.
Well, that's the thing. I'm not saying it's going to be tailored to the gamer.
What
There,
about
I'm saying
GPS style games?
it's going to be
Like
more.
something out in the middle of nowhere and everybody's going to
It'll be more medical, just like other things. Like gamers, yes, gamers are there, but how some technology gets boosted is usually by other fields, not just gamers.
Well, we already talked about what field's going to be pushing virtual reality to the next level, and that's the porn industry.
Oh, we already know this, yeah.
already on it.
It's already.
Japan's already got the whole outfit and whatnot.
Yeah, so I mean that goes without. There's the industry that will end up pushing the technology to the 10th level. But like I said, if I see it expanding anywhere, it's going to be the ditching of monitors and going to a full set immersion headset.
Yeah.
So and
Just
then you'll still
easier.
have the same control interface that you would have otherwise, and because I mean you're going to have a keyboard or some other thing like that, or maybe go like where you'll actually wear like a glove interface or something along that line.
Like that Razer product where it's just a few buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and
Keep
it's
that thing.
Power glove.
what basically what you're seeing right now, JT doing that kind of shit. So you'll
Yeah.
be able to bring up an interface and do everything with your TV.
He's actually got a prototype right now.
Yes.
Like in the Minority Report.
Exactly, but that's what I can see going to, because you basically can build that interface up. But that's where I see the future of that going to. And then full like a dive rig, possibly like Battlefield 4. And you've seen another. They've been around a long time. I think Bone remembers it. There used to be this crappy show on G4 Tech TV when it actually was a good show.
Yeah.
Where they actually had like battles of gaming clans where they would play multiple games. One of the games they played was America's Army, going back to that, and that was how they did it at the end there. They would do a full 3D rig on you, and they would literally have both teams playing each other, and they would be in a full virtual reality sim. So,
Anyhow, speaking of going back to, I just want to like clarify this. The Wii actually outsold the 360 and PS3.
Yeah.
The
100.
Wii had
1
101.63 million. 360 came up with 84 mil, and the PS3 came up with 83.8 mil, give or take.
okay. How many games?
That makes sense though, because you got the entire under 10 age range.
The Mario range.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
yeah.
fuck you.
Yeah, it had a lot to do with the fact, though, that the Wii was released at the end of the PlayStation 3 and X360 life
Actually,
cycle.
No, they released around the same
Same
time.
time.
Yeah, they came out. They're all 7th generation consoles.
Yeah.
They all came out about the same time. But
Wii,
the Wii was
though, in the
crushing
beginning,
it for a
first,
little while
like,
there.
The first couple quarters without selling a lot,
Yeah.
but then slowly trailed down where the 360 and PS3 started picking up, but they never picked up to how much the Wii actually sold. That's why
Yeah.
the Wii won in sales altogether.
I remember the Wii was crushing it for a while there. It was like insane
Or like
numbers
2, 3
around
quarters.
Christmas. Around Christmas time, they'd sell
They
insane
sold over
numbers of them.
12 million over Christmas time or something like that. 12 million units, I think the one graph showed, or close to 12 mil.
Yeah. So another VR news. Starbreeze, which is a Swedish studio responsible for The Darkness, and it's the parent company to Payday studio Overkill, is working on a VR headset themselves. They're working with Acer, I believe it was. This one's going to have a 210 degrees field of view, which is pretty significant for a VR headset. I think the Oculus is like 110.
I thought the Oculus was like 160.
One something, yeah.
Looks like it's
I
got
can't remember.
two.
Yeah, it looks, it's like almost, angled in a little bit. But
And now
another
Mac is
VR
also
headset.
making
Well,
I
that was
mean,
one of the problems they were trying to solve at the start of VR was the lensing effect, and they had to bring it in and bring it in and bring it in. These guys look like they solved at least part of that problem.
two different screens, it looks like, essentially.
Yeah, it looks
instead
like two
of
different
one
screens,
screen.
they found a way to.
Yeah, so their production costs are probably higher. But
I wonder if they'll actually introduce something where each I know we discussed, I think Torn was discussing it with me the one day, about having each screen use a different GPU.
that'd be significant.
Let's just talk about more ways to make it more expensive.
Yes,
Well, that'd be
but
on your
less
computer, not
cautious.
just
Oh,
the
but that's how
headset.
you drive down prices if you get people interested in something.
Well, that's it. Competition breeds better technology and also breeds a cheaper price.
This is probably me being very uneducated about this, but if you got two screens in front of you, it doesn't matter where it's angled. I mean, not all people just go like this and like don't move your eyeballs at all. So if you're
Yeah.
moving your eyeballs around, you're going to see the edge of those anyways. So how did
Just that
they
point.
got something that follows your eyes?
It has to do with the fact of how your
Well, it's
brain
just-
perceives images and what it's actually translating.
Yeah.
At
I
some
mean-
point, when you look at when your images, when something gets close enough to your eye, your brain will trick it into thinking something different, and that's how.
Well, the closer it gets, the more this fuzzes out.
Yeah.
As you focus in on a smaller area.
So the monitor itself is that big, I think, about give or take. So if it's this close to your eye,
It's your entire field of vision.
so and like Charles said, your brain will get tricked. So even if you do move your eye, it probably won't move to that edge. It'll just try and keep that realism.
And even if you look like far to the side, it's still your peripheral vision. It's still not, you're not focusing on stuff way over here. You're focusing on things that are in front of you most.
And all the
most of
headsets
time.
also have it that it shuts all light out. So nothing should be peeking through to distract you. So even if you look too far, you won't notice it because it's just darkness. You're basically
Oh, and as you turn to look, you turn in your head after your eyes turn.
yeah.
It starts to
Either
turn.
it's
and the images inside will turn.
your body will adjust to. JT's gone.
We lost somebody.
But your body will adjust to the what you will automatically adjust your entire situation to what the virtual reality is showing you, and your eye movement will probably drop down because your field of vision is going to be lower, so you're not going to have stuff catching your attention.
Yeah.
So
Either way, I'm intrigued by it, but I'm not going to be an early adopter like I usually am on most stuff.
Yeah,
It's just- I just
it's
don't
super
see it.
early right now.
I don't want to, and I can't at the same time.
Even if I had the money, I wouldn't be. I don't think investing right now. Second generation, we'll see what it looks like. And there's no games out right now. There's no games right now. And plus, the market is being flooded. Somebody else is getting involved. Like things are getting a little out of
There's a
hand.
lot of indie games that are trying to grasp the virtual reality. The one that I was playing a little bit, which when you guys watched it, was kind of slow, but it actually picks up a lot more during it. It actually it supports VR, where you go inside the car a little more, and you move your head, you can see inside the vehicle while playing. Since it's the game more is like it plays on a controller if you need be, but I was playing on keyboard and mouse, which was probably a really bad idea.
just like I said, to be taken into the game, to the PC, to the gamer aspect. It's not going to be virtual reality. It's going to be getting rid of a monitor setup and going to a direct input to your face, basically.
Mhm.
Actually, there's already a VR app for Steam for the Vive and whatnot that mimics your desktop.
I'd like to see my
It's your
entire
desktop in VR.
just my walls completely around me be. So I can just look at the walls.
Like a smart house.
Don't have to have something up on my face. There's,
I'm
So
sure they
that
get.
one
I'm sure
thing
they
I
get
noticed
sweaty
when
in
I
there
did
too.
that, Torn.
I have
Remember that one thing I posted for the racing thing? I don't know where that is. It was somewhere back on the Discord chat, where the guy basically put like a green screen around that had a projection on it, and it ended up going full 3D reality around him. So I
That'd be
mean,
badass.
yeah, if you got the money to set it up,
It's essentially a 6-monitor setup,
yeah,
just projected instead.
yep.
You need some serious graphics processing to do that. And
Like I
another,
said, that's where that's going.
and another VR thing that came out this week was Google unveiled Daydream, which is a VR ecosystem for Android. They're not actually making a headset; they're just making the ecosystem available to people to have their VR done through Android. Because what do they already have? The Google Cardboard or whatever it's called. This is sort of like let people do the next generation of that.
You pay $12 and you can get Google Cardboard. So
Yeah.
I think it's on pre-order or a back order again. I think it's ordered so much, even though it's just cardboard.
It's on back order?
Yeah.
That's funny. It's bizarre. So yeah, I'm just concerned that to some degree, not a huge degree, but to some degree that they're flooding the market. We talked about Disney Infinity last week going under because they were doing too much at once. Are we having too many VR things out there that people are just not going to know what to buy, and so they're just going to say, all right, I'm not going to get anything?
Yeah, I said that a few weeks ago. I said that could be the main issue, is that everybody right now is like, oh boy, it's a hot thing, just like the 3D stuff JD was talking about. 3D technology appears every like 10 years, every 15 years. 3D becomes, oh, it's the newest thing in the world. There's been 3D movies since like the 1950s. All right,
Yeah.
It's nothing new, but they sell it as something new, and then the idiots go out there and they think they're getting something that's new and cutting edge, but it's not.
Well, it's the same with virtual reality headsets. Nintendo did one. Virtual Boy.
It
Still
sucked.
waiting on the HoloLens.
The HoloLens
That's
too,
what
yeah.
they're gonna
That's not
do.
VR. It's a little different, but yeah, that's another thing that's like VR.
So they're going to oversaturate the market before there's any market for it,
Yeah.
and they're going to end up killing it out. And like I
I
said,
think augmented reality is going to do better than VR in the long run.
Good.
yeah. But what you're eventually going to see, in my opinion, is that it's going to burn itself out really, really quick, and then it's going to go to the gaming, the modders out there, and they're going to go out there and find this tech, and they're going to go, hey, we can build shit for it. And it's going to start with the hardcore sim games, because
Porn industry was, man,
Second
porn
Life.
industry will make the money out of it. Yeah.
I wonder
But,
if Second Life has already implemented VR. I bet they have. I bet they have.
I don't think that game companies themselves are going to build for games. I think the modders are going to take the existing technology and work it into the game.
Make it work, yeah.
Doom 3 or whatever is VR ready, I think, and Doom itself, I think, is VR ready.
I saw on my Steam games that Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes was in the VR category.
But
Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes?
no, I heard that. I'm more like, what?
Oh, what? Yeah, I know. Apparently you can use it with VR headset.
Why?
Because you can look at it in
I
front
can
of
read
you.
the manuals.
You could probably pick it up
Real
with, if you
time.
have the Vive controllers and move it, you know?
Virtual tabletop VR.
See, that's just junk. It's those are fucking junk cliche games that are fun for 40 minutes and then they're.
Goat Simulator VR.
The one game I heard that was good was some sort of a zombie shooting game. But that was like, somebody said that was legitimately fun game to play on VR.
Yeah, well,
You have to say.
Goat Simulator VR. You are the goat.
Be
Just saying.
one with the goat.
Be the goat.
Tor, what are you playing? Goat Simulator.
I'm chewing grass on the side of a hill in New Zealand.
where's Torn been? We have no idea.
We haven't seen him for days.
Right.
Give him a simulator game. Then we
Where's Torn? Bear! Bear!
Call his wife. What happened to him? He won't come out of the bunker.
Oh, he's been eating grass only.
He's in Bunker 1 eating grass.
His new vape is just called grass.
So there was a ton of VR news this week, even though we had very little news in general. Up next, Terraria patch 1.3.1 is coming out on Sunday. This is a 5-year anniversary of Terraria, and they're adding another it's a minor update, not a major update. It's mostly bug fixes and a few additions to the game. They're adding or doing something with wiring, conveyor belts, logic gates, and they're adding controller support to the game if that wets your whistle. Isn't the game already out on console?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
So it
Out on
can't be that
console,
hard.
So it kind of makes sense that they're going to add it to the PC then.
But yeah, the game keeps coming out with updates. I can't believe it. And I think he's working on Terraria too.
I ever spent.
Yeah, seriously. Steam sale. How many people bought that on a Steam sale and have gotten
I bought it full price when it first
years
came
of
out.
entertainment out of it?
Price.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought it on a Steam sale for
So
like,
every time I join a friend, they already decked out and everything. It's like, well, this is no fun. Try doing your own thing, and it's like, well, they already explored here, and I'm in hell.
4 to 6 hours for me and Ninja. That's about how long it takes.
for your second playthrough or just
If
the
you
first
go
one?
eat dinner and come back, we'll beat the game. So
Ubisoft.
Yeah, Ubisoft has announced that the next free update to the Division called Conflict is update 1.2 will be out on May 24th, which is Tuesday.
Which no one will care because Overwatch will be out.
Overwatch will be out.
exactly.
Includes a new incursion, increased high-end loot drops, 4 new gear sets, new high-level Dark Zone bracket, and the ability to hijack extractions in all Dark Zone brackets, which was a cool thing, I thought. You can run up to the line and cut it. It makes you rogue, but you can get all the shit that falls off of it. So you have to stick around after you put your thing up on the line and protect it, which I thought was kind of cool. So that was actually the neatest thing I thought I saw on there. But that's out this week, but it
That's
won't
the
matter.
coolest thing in the game so far.
Awesome. If Ubisoft didn't actually make it a client-side game that saves, and it's basically a complete and utter hack fest.
They did do stuff about that. Excuse me. They did
Client-side.
They did do a whole bunch of bans recently. I remember reading
We
about.
talked about this.
I think we talked about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check on our other podcast if you want to hear this debate or about that debate.
I don't remember when that was.
Check our YouTube. You'll
It's
find
probably
it.
about a month ago. Capcom will very likely be revealing the next Resident Evil at E3, which is coming up in about a month. The entire game, this is a quote, the entire game will go back to the series' horror roots and essentially be a clean slate. And so I don't know if it sounds like a reboot, but they're
Can
trying
you jump over a small fence?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been a huge fan of the game. So that's it's not my cup of tea.
They said players would have to get used to the new. It's going to be.
I played 5, I think. I did not like the shooting mechanics in
If
it.
they're going back to the horror roots without focusing on like the whole
Combat.
FPS, whatever, or well, I guess it wasn't an FPS, third-person shooter element, I think it could be really cool.
And you got to realize the two relevations that came out, Resident Evil Revelations, that was very, very well done.
Revelations?
Very good game.
Speaking of
Revelation.
Revelations.
Speaking of Capcom and Resident Evil Humble Bundle right now, you can still pick it up. They are having a huge Capcom thing going on where you can get a lot of the Resident Evils and more, Street Fighter and whatnot. Let's see, you can get Resident Evil Revelations, Devil May Cry, DMC Devil May Cry, Resident Evil 4, Remember Me, Bionic Commando, DMC Devil May Cry, Virgil's Downfall DLC, some more Devil May Cry, Resident Evil 6, Strider, Resident Evil Revelations 2, Episode 1, Lost Planet 3 Complete, Bionic Commando Rearmed, and some other discount codes for the Humble Bundle store. But if you do $15, you get everything. There is... How much time do we have left on this guy? Not much time. 3 days. 3 days left. So $15 gets you all that of $254 worth of awesome games as quoted from Humble Bundle. So if
Speaking
you have
about
any
games
interest
for
in those-
cheap, what was that thing called? Birthday Mystery Bundle on
For Green Man Gaming.
Green Man Gaming.
I would stay away from that.
I purchased the $5 one and got 3 games. I don't remember what they were. They were
was
nothing.
one called Legendary.
Obviously, they were winners. If you don't remember what they were,
No, yeah, they weren't anything. That
No,
was
I had
interesting.
a-
one of them was a
Well,
puzzle game.
The main package was a game for a penny.
Yeah,
But that was
It was
limited
random.
quantity, and the penny, their 6 cents one was sold out really fast, and then the
Or yeah,
$1, the $1 one where you got one game was also sold out really fast, and then you only had 3
3 for $5, 5 for 6
7
and
pack is
7
$10.
for 10. Yeah.
7 was 10, and I had some guys at work who both bought the $10 one, and they both got the same exact games. And they were crap. Like on Steam rating and other game reviews, they didn't even really hit medium reviews.
It's how they get rid of keys for games nobody's buying.
Yeah.
So, like,
Well, that's
if
why
you
they're
want to
cheap.
take it, like, there have been
There's some cool
reports.
indie games in there, though.
The one game was that I
reports
saw
that-
scored a 92% or something like that. It was a puzzle game. So maybe
There
I'll
have
give it
been some
away or something.
reports that people are getting Modern Warfare 4, some Black Ops 2 codes in there, but I could only find like a few posts from Reddit and the link that you gave, Torn, from GameSpot.
I don't even know if they're just trolling.
They could be trolling or they could be telling the truth. There's no way to really find out. So it's up to you. Do you want to take the gamble? That's what it is. It's a gamble.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, it's probably that the more expensive games are one in 1,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
Chance to get or something. The Halo 5 Forge editor but not Halo 5, is coming to PC and I think Windows 10, probably through the Windows Store. This is really interesting because the Forge editor, and from what I've read about the newest one, it's extremely good level editor. Very good. People haven't been using it very much on the Xbox because you don't have great control with a controller in your hands
The
on it.
interface sucks with a
The
controller.
the interface sucks to make levels, but they make them on a computer when they're making the game. They're not sitting there with a controller.
Yeah.
So people are really excited about this
And it's gonna
to be able to
free
do
for
level
Windows
editors.
10.
Yeah,
And I
free.
think it's only Windows 10 only. I don't think it's for Windows 7. It's just Windows 10.
Yeah, Windows 10 I think is probably on the
Surprise me.
Windows Store.
And you can play multiplayer, but with only friends, with your friends list. So it's not going to be like random matchmaking and everything. It's only your friends list.
Yeah, that's how it's always worked with the Forge editor.
But
You can invite, I think, 8 people when you're playing.
I'm guessing like if this does go well, we might see Halo 4,
Halo 5.
Halo 5, Halo Master Chief Collection.
Something on PC. It'd be nice if they put Halo again on the PC.
They talked about it multiple times, 343 studios and whatnot. They talked about it, bringing it, but I think it's more Microsoft denying them.
Yeah, I wonder.
If
But-
they try to push
But if Microsoft is actually smart now, where they're saying like, oh, gaming or PC gaming is a profitable market.
considering the Xbox One has been a colossal failure.
I don't know if it's been a failure. I don't think it's sold as well as they wanted to, obviously, but I don't know if it's a
Expo.
failure.
The what?
Xbone.
He's just pointing out the fact that it's a system that you really don't hear anything about anymore.
We don't.
Yeah, you
I
don't.
think I've seen a commercial for an Xbox One game a while
I
ago.
see commercials for PS4.
It's yet again, we're talking about PlayStation 4 hitting its stride. It's good. PlayStation
Uncharted 4, man.
going to
that's-
start hitting its stride. It's going to be, they're going to have unique title after title after title over the next few years, and Xbox is just going to go, "Hey, we got the new Call of Duty 8," and it's just.
Speaking of Xbox here for a second, DICE and EA spoke out about Battlefield 1, saying to not be concerned about the whole Xbox logo being in the front of the trailer. It is going to be for the PS4 and PC,
Yeah.
and they're not going to just exclusively have like special things for the Xbox. It was just that's how the trailer was.
Better be. I already fucking pre-ordered it.
They paid essentially to get their
Yeah.
symbols right.
Yeah.
That's I figured.
It's basically
It's
marketing.
like when you see Audi in the Civil War movie. You didn't see that.
yeah.
You didn't see that?
I haven't seen it
all
yet.
the Audi cars everywhere.
Yeah.
I haven't seen
Product
Civil
placement.
War.
Hey, okay, listen.
Product
Everybody
placement,
drives Audi in that world, okay?
And everybody drives $60,000 vehicles.
Okay.
Yeah.
How can you be so just narrow-minded?
I'm sorry.
We'll come back to Civil War in a second.
Anyhow,
I'm
Total
serious,
War.
we're not talking about it.
Total War Warhammer releases on the 24th, and the reviews just came out giving it fairly good scores across the board, 8 mostly. Sadly, it's going to be going on a release day with Overwatch, so
He's gonna get buried.
So
Sorry.
the type of game that is you're looking at two different genres of game. All right, the people that are first-person shooters are going to be immediately driven to Overwatch. The people that like that RTS style gaming play are going to be driven towards Warhammer. I'm tempted to get it myself, but I don't like the aspect that they're going to be DLCing the fuck out of it. So
I saw a review of a guy who really likes RTSs and especially Warhammer, and he gave the single player a 10. He said the single player was great. He gave the multiplayer like a 6 or a 7 or something like that. They said the multiplayer was not strong, but the single player was great. He said.
See that? Hopefully that's something they work on because, like I said, that's one of those games. Warhammer is a game that's built around using little miniature figures on a giant battlefield. Total War is a game with little miniature figures on a little battle. I mean, it literally is like a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
If they do it right, like I said, that could be an amazing tournament type game for like championships and multiplayer and stuff like that, because you got to build armies within a certain point total, and then it's all about how you use them. So everybody has their advantages, everybody has their disadvantages, and it's more about the tactical aspect than the I'm just going to zerg your ass, you know.
Yeah.
Even though there are
If you're going to be zerging, you're probably an orc.
Yeah, but even then, there's strategy involved in that. So it's like I said, that's a game that if they do that right, it would be awesome to look at. Because let's face it, the Total War engine is an amazing engine. It really.
I've been watching some of the gameplay, in-game videos and everything for reviews, and it looks gorgeous. But I like that RTS kind of aspect and everything, but I'm not gonna buy it. It's like I like it. I like the fact that it's Warhammer, and I love that Warhammer is getting more games and more love. But I couldn't get into Total War. That's the game I could not get into.
I like Total War a lot, but it gets boring.
Anyhow, so I guess we're moving to Captain America
Captain
now.
America Civil War, $310 million domestically in, 2 weekends? And $671 million internationally, so it's almost $1 billion thus far.
Gee.
Yeah.
And it's only been, 2 weeks?
Well, internationally it's been out for a long time. It came out like
3 weeks?
2 or 3 weeks before it came out in the States.
And Superman and Batman still probably haven't grossed that much.
No, well, this is the highest domestic movie for the year. And it's only been out for 2 weeks in the States.
Wow. Somewhere Warner Brothers is crying.
But I had read that some execs at Warner Brothers got fired over the movie. So I'm curious to see what direction they start heading in.
It's all the Audis. That's what it is.
Oh, the Audis, yeah.
You know it. It's just.
I swear to God, if there's an Audi in Warcraft,
It's Audi. It's not an Audi.
Whatever. If there's a car in Warcraft, I'm flipping shit.
It's a Mini, not an Audi.
It's a Porsche, not a Porsche.
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 I think Warcraft.
So let's do a spoiler-free discussion of Civil
No
War.
discussion.
No.
I haven't seen it, please.
We're not going to do a discussion. We're just going to talk about if we liked it or not.
What, Civil War?
So have you guys, who's seen it? Just me and Tornzo? Have you seen it, Benford? I liked it. I liked it a lot.
I still have to watch The Winter Soldier.
Oh my gosh.
Me too.
F5 Ninja.
You don't really have to watch Winter Soldier to understand what's going on in this
Here you
movie.
go.
I don't know. I don't think you
That's
do.
what one of my friends said about Mad Max Road Fury Warrior, whatever the new Mad Max came out, and I watched it. I'm like, I have no idea what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, I don't think you have to watch you don't really know what's going on in the
it's
earlier
different-
Mad
it's
Max.
a movie that's 20 years apart, man. Come on.
Yeah. And the-
Oh, he's like, yeah, you probably should have seen some of the other Mad Max, because I was lost on why he was having flashbacks, what some of those things meant.
I haven't seen the movie.
I didn't understand the world of Mad Max. That's why it's like it would have been nice.
Post-apocalyptic wasteland.
I got
Yeah,
that
what's
much.
not to get?
Yeah, I know. Just
Australian
It's a
Outback.
fucking wasteland. That's
I really liked the Captain America movie. I thought it was really well executed. I thought they crushed it with Spider-Man. They absolutely knocked Spider-Man out of the park. They set Fox up. If Fox fucks up the next Spider-Man movie, there's no hope, because they
Fox.
set Spider-Man up so well. Fox would just say, Marvel, take Spider-Man and make the movie, and we'll just collect the paychecks at the end of
I
it.
think
Because they nailed the
I
Spider-Man
think Fox
character.
might be learning though, because like look at Deadpool.
Deadpool's not a good example.
Shut up.
Deadpool's not a good. Fox basically went, fine, we'll make it.
Take the money and make a little movie.
Shut the fuck up. They're like, what?
Yeah.
It must be because it's rated R. All right, let's start releasing 1 or 2 rated R movies, and maybe that'll make it. Fox has no fucking idea what Deadpool's about.
Yeah,
Something interesting today, though, too. A lot of actors are looking to play Cable, and they're starting to actually go around and
Keira
put out
Knightley.
feelers. Now, I can't remember. Dolph Lundgren's showing interest. The one my friend told me about today would be fucking awesome would be Ron Perlman.
Hmm.
Ron Perlman's basically come out and said he wants to play Cable, and that would be fucking awesome. He would be great at that role.
Is Ron Perlman tall?
Dude, the guy that played Colossal.
Because Cable is supposed to be taller than Deadpool, but I don't care either way. And I don't really care either way if he is or not. I'm just.
It's the same with Colossal. Like they had an actor on stilts to play Colossal.
Well, his whole character was CGI.
Ron Perlman can easily do it. He played Hellboy, and Hellboy was supposedly gigantic. It's all about how it's movie magic, man.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Speaking of Hellboy, I actually rewatched that like 2 weekends ago because it's on Netflix.
But it's a good fucking movie.
I know, I like
It's
it.
not bad. It's not bad.
They blend CGI and actual.
Very well. They did.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you
You
said
know what
that,
I'm
I
talking
was like,
about.
I should watch that again.
And the golden egg or whatever that second one, the golden
It
army.
wasn't bad either. It got bombed, but it wasn't a bad movie.
I loved it. One, because it had a lot of the special effects and the costumes and everything from Pan's Labyrinth. It was the same guy that did Pan's Labyrinth. And Pan's Labyrinth, yes, it's not in.
That was an amazing movie.
That's a trippy movie.
Yeah,
It's bizarre.
I saw it in a theater. I'm like, oh, sweet, I'm getting ready. And it was all in Spanish with English subtitles. I'm like, anime trained me for this.
Was there a third Hellboy movie?
No.
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 I think there was talks
Not
of
yet.
one, but it never
Not
happened.
yet.
The Golden Throne did not do very well as a
Yeah.
theatrical release, and
I
that
thought
means
it did.
you're not making another one.
Yeah, that's a
I
death.
thought the
death
golden
kiss.
whatever was awesome. I don't know.
But
Then I guess I have weird taste in movies. Some people say, "Oh, this movie was crap." I'm like, dude, it was awesome.
yeah, I mean, a lot of people didn't like Superman, Batman, and I didn't really mind it too much.
I thought it
I was
was okay.
entertained. I thought the fight scenes were really good in that movie. And my biggest pet peeve is the ending. But Captain America: Civil War, I liked it from beginning to end. I really enjoyed it. It was funny. It was good.
Dude, it was a Captain America movie.
It was a Captain America movie.
Yeah, even though it had all the Avenger characters in it,
It fit a shit ton of people into that movie.
it still felt like a Captain America movie.
Yeah.
What was it?
I've heard a lot of people said it's the best superhero
Today.
trilogy
Yeah.
ever. You can take all
Today.
3 Captain America movies; they're the best trilogy ever made. So
There
far.
weren't many things that I was like, I don't like that. There was very few of those types of moments.
A fun fact about Captain America: Civil War: Spider-Man actually has more lines than Superman in Batman vs Superman.
Spider-Man talks a lot of shit in that movie. In the
I know,
three
I've
scenes that he's in.
I've heard a lot of rumors from some of the people I work with. They're like, "You haven't seen it yet? Spider-Man keeps talking in this one part, and this one person's like, dude, we're fighting."
You don't talk while you're fighting.
Talking and fighting.
And he's like, oh.
No, I think it was great because he still had the really young aspect because he's a young
Yeah.
character, but he had a little bit of attitude
Mhm.
because he understands how much power he has, and that was something that he is dealing with.
They discussed that a little bit, yeah.
Yeah,
I have to see it.
It's
No more-
really
no more
good.
talking of it now.
Yeah, no. They just nailed Spider-Man so well. I loved the Spider-Man in that movie. It was really good.
Do you think we're gonna have a fourth Spider-Man, or this is the last Spider-Man we're gonna have?
You mean Captain
No.
America?
No, you mean
Spider-Man.
you mean person playing
Oh, you're
Spider-Man?
talking like a reboot of a reboot.
Yeah.
Yes,
I would
or
think
you
if
pretty
they
much
fail
said
with
that.
this one, then
Because this
maybe
is our
they'll
third
just let it go.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
so if they do this one right with this kid, it's gonna be all right.
It's gonna do well. Yeah, this is better than Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Yeah,
As far
Some
as
people
I'm
have to
concerned.
argue. Like some people actually like Toby.
Well, yeah, I didn't know. I'm saying that's what I'm saying. I think if this is better than Tobey Maguire, it's gonna be a really good movie.
A lot of people said that same thing about the Joker, but if fucking what's his name didn't kill himself, he'd still be doing Joker movies.
yeah.
You know, they
Yeah,
said nobody
probably.
can beat Jack Nicholson's Joker. It just ain't gonna happen. And then everybody saw him, and he's like, Heath Ledger just was like, blew
And,
everybody
and
away.
according to the set, the Jared Leto one's really good too. Like I've heard that people on set stop to watch, which doesn't happen in movies.
my
But it
question
could all
is,
just be hype. You don't know.
I saw Shadow and I saw Torn here going, here's the thing though. Is it really Jared Leto being a bad Joker, or is it just maybe the writing of this Joker bad?
I don't think it's that. It's
Aspect.
I actually was thinking of something else. I read like Rumor Mill, and I showed it to Bone one night, talking about how some guy basically thinks it's not Jared Leto's not playing the Joker.
Yeah, there's a lot of rumors on that he's Robin.
Red Robin, yeah, or whatever, Red Hood, which is basically Red Hood, which is basically Robin corrupted by the Joker. And the thing that made me interesting the most is, and I haven't verified this because I never checked it, which is really stupid, but supposedly William Dafoe has got a credited role in Suicide Squad. But he's not listed as what role he's playing. And if that's the case, I think William Dafoe would be a really good Joker.
Some people have done those like CGI, like, or kind of like things like, this is William Dafoe. This is what he would look like if he was the Joker. It's like,
he would make a very good Green Goblin.
Good with that, like,
the insane,
out of reality.
He's insane if he goes to it.
So it's like, I think, and that, like I said, that's, if anything remotely would make me watch that movie aside from Harley Quinn, would be that. That alone would make me watch that, because that would be cool, because they're hyping him as the Joker, but they really haven't called him the Joker. You see him, you go, oh, he looks like the Joker, but they haven't called him the Joker really yet. You see scenes from him.
Yeah.
You'd think you'd see him with a red hood on, though.
But
like, the red hood doesn't look like the Joker. He's what the Joker was before he became the Joker, was Red Hood, and then he picks up that persona.
Wasn't it something like the Joker was killed and Red Hood took over the Joker's role because how corrupt he was and everything?
Well, I don't know the basics of the comic book, and our comic book expert isn't here tonight. So, but it would, like I said, that would make me want to see the movie. Aside from Harley Quinn, but that would make me see the movie just for that little bit of that. That's the kind of twist that I like in a movie, where it's like you're going in expecting to see one thing and something else it's exactly different. That's cool.
They've done a fairly good job with Suicide Squad of not giving us the plot.
Yeah. That I give them credit for.
I gotta say, their previews have been good.
Every time there's a trailer or a fight scene that you think you're gonna get some information on what's happening, they turn it to the next scene.
Yeah.
So you don't know.
And they've kept roughly the same exact basis of every trailer. They show you a little bit about each character. They're going to be doing a suicide mission, and then you see the chaos involving around it. It's not like the Superman versus Batman movie where the first trailer looks nothing like the last trailer, and by the time you watch the fourth trailer they released, you're like, what the fuck is going on with this shit?
And they literally gave you the whole movie in the Batman trailers.
Yeah.
It was awful.
In this.
William Dafoe is not listed in Suicide Squad on IMDb, but I just found a deal that said he will be joining the cast of Justice League Part 1.
Commissioner Gordon.
No.
He's old. He's an older guy, you know.
I don't think Commissioner Gordon was ever in a Justice.
He's not a member of.
But he's not even.
Well, he could be a flashback or something like that. It doesn't mean he's not in the Justice League. But
why would you? No, you would not hire him just for that.
It would be. Like I said, I don't know if it's true or not, but it would make more sense. And the other reason it would make more sense is Suicide Squad is taking place in the same Marvel universe, or not Marvel universe, my bad.
Whoa.
Warner Brothers DC comic universe that's going on, okay? Mm-hmm. And we know in that universe, Batman's an old fart.
And Robin's dead.
Robin's suit that
Robin's already dead.
Spray paint.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like, you screwed up, ha ha ha.
Okay, but why would Jared Leto be playing such a young Joker? Joker should be just as old as Batman. They're not really... You know what I mean? Jared Leto looks like he's playing a younger version of the Joker.
But there's been some rumors saying that the Suicide Squad takes place before that Batman versus Superman.
I don't know. That last trailer they released, it gave the ending to Superman away, I thought. Who's seen Superman?
I don't care. I'm not going to watch it.
Have you seen it, Bentham?
Batman versus... Yeah, I've seen it.
Spoiler. There you
go. We're going to spoil here. This is the big spoil. The huge spoiler for Batman Superman, so leave now, is that Superman dies in the end, which is what pisses me off about it. They did not earn the right to kill Superman in the second fucking movie. Anyways, in the Suicide Squad trailer, they say it says something like, what if Superman had decided to, not be what he was? We need somebody to fight against him, and that's their justification to the government or whatever for creating Suicide Squad. So I think it does take place around the time, either right before or right after he dies, in the Batman Superman. So it's roughly the same timeline. But who knows when in the movie that happens and all.
Yeah, but I still said, like I said, that Jared Leto's character definitely looks to be a younger Joker. It doesn't make sense in the universe for the Joker to be a young Joker. All right,
maybe
Joker should be older or on par with
Batman.
With Batman.
Big twist. Joker is actually Mark Hamill.
He's coming
That
into
would
the movie
be
at the end.
fucking awesome.
Oh, in The Flash, he played the Trickster, and he voiced
Wow.
the Trickster in an animated series.
Like I said, that would be fucking awesome though if Mark Hamill did that, but I can't see that happening. Not with Star Wars in filming. That's way
How about a magic trick?
that would be fucking awesome.
Speaking of Mark Hamill, he just did an interview. I forget where it was. It's easy to find now.
Comic-Con?
Talking about Squadron 41 and filming it and all that.
Going back to he's been in fucking almost every Wing Commander game.
Yeah, they talk about Wing Commander in it, and it's a good interview. It's worth checking
Isn't Mark
out.
Hamill in Star Citizen?
Yeah, he's filming. They're filming right now for Squadron 41.
He's worked with Chris Roberts since Wing Commander 2.
Yeah.
He was the main character in Wing Commander 2, Wing Commander 3, Wing Commander 4. So
Mark Hamill, the man of many talents.
Man of many
voice
voices.
actor that's everywhere, man.
I'm
Yep.
super excited for Star Wars 8.
Calm down, breathe.
I love Star Wars.
So that's it.
So that's all I got.
I got nothing.
Anybody
Nothing
else have
really.
anything else exciting?
No. Nothing on AMD front, nothing on NVIDIA front. I guess Pascal's coming out soon. Pascal is the new GPU that NVIDIA is going to be releasing. It's going to be the 1080 and the 1070. 1080 should be getting to benchmarks pretty soon.
That already has been. I saw some benchmarks. It
Oh,
essentially it performs better than the Titan and the 1080 Ti. It
Or
performs
980 Ti.
980 Ti. It performs roughly on par with SLI'd to 980s.
Yep.
Um,
And the
so it's
1070 is supposed to
pretty
be
kick-ass.
be stronger than a 980 or something like that. I think the 1080 was rumored, or MSRP is around 669 or something like that, and the 1070 is going to be priced around 379 to combat the mainstream graphics market. AMD has yet to really post any showing of what the Polaris GPU is going to be to combat the mainstream and a little bit the high end, but they're not combating the 1080 right now. There has been posting from one of the AMD leads that Vega, which is going to be the high-end enthusiast graphics card architect, will be pushed to October release instead of a 2017 release. So AMD and NVIDIA will both be showing stuff at Computex and E3 most likely. So it should be interesting to see how well these battle out. Will Polaris actually pull through and get the mainstream market over NVIDIA, while NVIDIA just takes the high-end and enthusiast? Or will NVIDIA just dominate the market as usual? I'm an AMD person, but I know strong cards when I see a strong card.
NVIDIA's been crushing it, yeah.
The 1070 and 1080.
But here's the thing about the Polaris, where it's supposed to be power or performance per power or performance per wattage, where it's really going to be pressuring onto that. Whereas I think their high-end card will be 299 and be either on par or higher than the 290X GPU, but be less power usage, cooler, smoother, and that's and they're cheaper. It's I think they said $299 for this card. So they're trying to get the mainstream where enter a VR, as we're talking about earlier today about the VR headsets and everything, where they want it to be cheaper. So people I don't really want to drop $700 on a graphics card just to play an Oculus Rift, which is another $600. Where AMD is trying to enter that game on that. They're trying to enter the TAM.
Yeah. Well, the NVIDIA one also has a huge jump in RAM, so they're definitely setting up for VR too.
So, but we won't know anything really about AMD closer or on probably the Computex Taiwan thing, which is June coming up. So that's all I have on really the tech front at the moment. So
Yeah, the 1080 looks like it's going to be beastly. From the stuff that I was reading about.
I don't think it's HBM2. They're running GDDR5X, which is a boosted version of GDDR5.
Yeah.
But
Alrighty.
we'll find out more later.
So do we know what we're playing tonight?
Super fight.
That's right. Super. We're going to be playing Tabletop Simulator. And we'll be back in 5 minutes or so. If you haven't already, please follow. On YouTube as well as here. We have gaming streams every single night. Monday nights is Benthans doing role-playing games. Tuesday nights is Torn Soul, who's doing games that he sucks at. Wednesday nights we're doing role-playing right now. Thursday nights is me, boning people. And Friday nights is this at 8.
You might want to elaborate on that.
No, I'm just going to let that hang out there in the air.
No, please don't.
It wasn't really hanging. It wasn't hanging where it's pointing, really.
Put it away, Bone. Put it
All
away.
right. We'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes.